Yeah. I It's my first time trying to do one of these things, and this may or may not be a series that I do. I'm trying to make it one. But I recently saw a YouTube a YouTuber that I follow. His name's Bornfree. He does like fighting game stuff, so most people hearing this probably won't know. But he started recently, maybe like once a month or like every other month or something. He started talking about personal issues and like stuff in his life, and a lot of it had to do with depression. And I'm currently going through probably, dare I say, the biggest depression in my life, or I'm gonna say that right now. And then as I break it down, this might be like episodes and stuff, then that might change. But yeah, I figure this might be like a new side series or something, and I might even put it on the podcast audio because it is me talking, but it won't be an interview, just be me talking about stuff in my life and stuff. Um, but yeah, over the course of this year, this is the first year that I've discovered that I can get depressed. And maybe I've gotten depressed before in my life, but as I get into things like meditation and more yoga and all this other stuff, that I have this whole routine that I've talked about a lot on several of my podcasts and to a lot of people who know me. But I feel like at the very least, it has cultivated hardcore self awareness in me, which led me to discover that, oh, I can get depressed. And that was kind of eye awakening because I didn't really think I could. I don't know. It's just something I never really noticed or thought. Even though, like, I know I've been sad before in my life, but I never really felt like overwhelmed by it or at least was aware of it. But the first time I got depressed was this year, and I've had three this year, and I'm currently going through the third one right now. And this has lasted amazingly long, this third one, at least for me, like probably since around August 15th. And it just really took a hold on my life, and it made me be very not productive in life. And I'm only now just starting to slowly like fight it, and it's ups and downs. I'll have like a good 2 or 3 days, and then I'll fall back, and I'm like slowly trying to climb out this hole, but it's been pretty intense. But I think I was gonna talk about all three and then like how I'm dealing with them. And maybe I'll just talk about the first one right now, and eventually I'll get to the current one. So we'll see. But the first time I noticed I was depressed was in February of this year. And it was in this very room. This is in San Antonio, Texas. I don't live here no more, but I used to live in this very room. And from what I remember at that time, I just remember sitting here for like a whole month. Was it a month? I have no idea, but it was a month. And I just got my traditional junk food to like escape from the world. And I was just really sad. Like I didn't like my life. I just felt like I tried a lot of creativity things, and I think unlike a lot of my friends, maybe I kind of said a big fuck you to like maybe real life, and I kind of just spent a lot of my time on creativity, and that maybe didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I think it was maybe in February where I started like, I don't know, maybe feeling some of those repercussions and not being so happy with that. So I really didn't like where my life was at. I really didn't like the shape I was in, and just everything. I think the AC just went on, so that's fantastic too. So we'll see how that audible that is. But I remember sitting in this room. I would get that junk food. I would go to HEB and I would buy my traditional two kettle chips and family size Cheez-Its, and oh yeah, and then some sugar soda. Like Mexican Coke style stuff. And I would eat most of that in one night. And back in the day, probably a pizza too, some form of pizza or junk food like burgers, but probably a whole pizza, and I could probably scarf a lot of that down in that one night. Um, and then I would watch anime. I would just watch anime. Probably around that time, My Hero Academia, and yeah, some other shit, some ghouls, some Tokyo Ghoul. That shit was trash. But I watched a lot of anime that I liked, and yeah, and I just zoned out. And I don't know. I don't know what caused me to fall to or like caused me to be aware of that. Where I'm like, man, I just really didn't like my life. Um, and it's only now in depression 3 that I'm in, where I'm kind of noticing that like maybe I never even dealt with any of these depressions. Like I think what ended up happening is I think I just started like aiming for stuff. Like I just started aiming for stuff, and there's many quotes. The one that comes to mind is like a Bruce Lee one, and I don't even remember the quote, but basically some shit like you have to have a goal. You have to have an aim in life. And I think around March, I was able to make that happen for myself. Uh, I came up with these goals. There was a girl I met. I'm trying to keep her name out of it. Uh, but yeah, I met this girl, and I really liked her. But we started like working on some video stuff. But I met this girl. I really liked her. And I spent a lot of time, which was maybe also another recipe for a disaster. Maybe spending too much time with a person. But either way, I was enamored with her, and if that's the right word. So I slowly started to get out of it, and I was going to Austin a lot around that time too, because from February we go to March, and that becomes South by, and I have a very nice friend who let me stay there 2 whole weeks, like no rent or nothing, no hotel fee. So I stayed in Austin too for half of that. That probably helped a lot too. But I hung out with that girl every day too, which again, maybe a recipe for a disaster. But I was having a great time. Uh, but yeah, later on, if you fast forward to the end of that month or maybe early April, we're sort of kind of a thing. And towards the end of South by Southwest and March, I somehow convinced this very nice person to let me move in with him, and I moved into Austin. And moving to Austin was a thing I probably always wanted to do for many years. I wanted to do that for many, many years, and I never did. I was always maybe scared, um, always come up with an excuse. Never had enough money, even though I probably always did, but in my mind, never had enough money. Um, I think one of the last excuses I would always tell myself, and someone brought this up to me later, like when I we get to depression number 2, when I'm not happy in Austin. But I think one of the excuses I would always tell myself is I look at my friends there, and um, I was not jealous of them. Not that I'm looking to be jealous of anybody, but I would look at my friends in LA, and um, not jealous of them either, but they were all kind of at least doing the thing that like I would want to do, or a variation of it. And a lot of my Austin friends were more like just chasing the dream for them, and never know where the journey's gonna go, but just right now it didn't seem like all that I don't know, like I want to do that too. But for whatever reason I did finally take the plunge, and I moved to Austin. And what am I was 33 at the time, and that's my first time. I don't even know if this is a depression story anymore. This might be like just me telling a life story, but whatever. But I was 33 at the time, and I've gone my whole life, man, my whole life with just like living with somebody with my last name. So living with family, because I lived with my mom first 18 years, and then we moved to Texas. And I don't remember how much longer I lived with my mom, but whenever I do move out, I'm moving with my sister. Um, and so it's not like living with your mom, but still, she's family, and there's still kind of something there. So finally, living on my own in another city where none of my family members live, even though it's only 1.5 hours away, Um, and yeah, man, I was happy, but like I said, I never really dealt with that depression. So break up with that girl, and I do get a little bit sad, but honestly, like, and a lot of my friends might differ, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just doesn't stand out to me. the way these other two depressions or three depressions do, but it just doesn't stand out to me. I definitely was sad over her, and you know, a lot of lamentations there. But I also end up in the ER and some crazy shit. So maybe I just had other distractions. It never becomes as crazy as it could have been. And I got to face her a lot. That probably helped because I think a lot of times I desire closure, which honestly I'm starting to learn. And this stuff I may be talking about more when I get to depression 3, but I'm starting to learn that a lot of this shit probably just has all to do with me, and I need to deal with a lot of shit in myself. But I yeah, so I break up with her, I'm sad. Or she breaks up with me, my fault. But you gotta rewrite it in your head so you feel a little protect the ego or whatever BS. But it's around June, man. Around June-ish or something. And Mayish too, or where like maybe there's some sadness there still looming from that girl, but I start to really I'm just not enjoying where I live, and I'm not enjoying my overall Austin life. But I'm definitely home should be, or where you stay should hopefully be like a sanctuary. And man, like, and no offense to the guy who housed me, because he's a very nice dude, and he's still helping me today in other ways. But that place just did not feel like my home, and it did not feel like my sanctuary. And man, I would just stay out. I would just stay out because I just didn't want to go home. I didn't want to go home, and I hated it, and I hated being in there, and it just never felt safe. Not that they were gonna hurt me either, but like, because they're not those type, they're not bad people, but it just never felt like safe. And it was the first time. Again, maybe I've done this other times in my life, but the first time I'm aware of it. This is depression number 2, and I would just wake up, and I just didn't want to wake up, and I would just lay there for hours, and that was the first time I caught myself doing that. And it's weird because I'm aware of it, aware of what I'm doing, aware I'm just not doing nothing. Then I should get up. And I don't. And I would just lay there. And I'll just look forward to nighttime again so I could go to sleep. That and taking a shower. Those were the only 2 times I felt like comfortable. Something about like hot water or something. And that sounds maybe dumb, but I lived in this house that I'm recording this video in for a long time, and for whatever reason, they don't really have hot water here. They kind of got like lukewarm water. So, plus I get into cold showers, Wim Hof meditation, and all that. So, like, hot showers is something this year that's kind of become like a comfort because I hadn't had it in a long time, and I just literally didn't even have access to it. like this, but just hot showers, that as hot as possible with, borderline to the burning thing combined with just sleeping. And those were the only 2 times I would feel good. And the rest of the days were just like me, I don't know, just being scared. I don't even know what. Just being scared, but just being scared of something. And I don't even remember how that goes away. But now we gotta backtrack because when that girl does break up with me, there's another girl I had a thing for, and didn't even know her, but I just started telling people that one day this girl is gonna be my girlfriend. And I don't know, just because I was so down, maybe I was, saddened by this that I'm gonna get someone better and better, some bullshit like that. Tell yourself again, maybe like protect the ego or whatever. But you this is slowly gonna lead into depression 3. But I didn't know this person at all. Like I was just this person's a musician. I was just a fan of their music. So I know them as like random music acquaintance. But I would slowly start to reach out to them, and over the course of time, maybe from I don't know, let's say late April, Mayish, June-ish to August or whatever, like I slowly got to know them really, 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 really well. And I don't know if maybe that was a large maybe me. So this is what I'm saying. Like I don't even depression 1 and 2. I probably don't even deal with. I think I just kind of created these goals with people or with me moving somewhere, and then once I got them achieved, like now I'm just bouncing back and forth. But with this girl I dated around March and with me moving to Austin, I think those were like goals. But once I got there, I never had nothing else, and then I fell right back into it. And then once this girl breaks up with me, and I start chasing what I would call in my head maybe like the impossible girl, or dare I say these words like a moonshot. Um, like someone I never thought like I had her on a pedestal a year ago, so I never thought I would even like have any chance. But as I get to know her and know her, it just I don't know, I just had this crazy like maybe it's self-esteem boost, self-belief. Like, oh wow, this is possible. And what's really bad about this that I'm not even talking about, she's going through her own extreme stuff in her life, and I don't want to say too much because this is my shit, not hers. But she had her own depression, and stuff. And I end up talking to her about that and become a mentor and stuff. But or I shouldn't even say that word mentor, but I ended up becoming like the shoulder to cry on slash mentoree person, or as she would say, maybe I'll edit this part out. As she would say, shaman. Um, yeah. So I don't know, and I never even meant to take advantage of that, but maybe in my own way by accident. Maybe that's what I end up doing. And that was turn into like a sad video. But this is where I am. Damn, shout out to people who make videos of themselves, man. This shit's hard. Especially talking about real shit. So I got to know this person like really well, and around as the months keep going, I probably do get over, or at least I'm no longer aware of my depression because I'm maybe so infatuated with her again. Hopefully that's the right word. And that I'm being of any service to her because I was surprised. I was getting to know this person and just always wanted to know her, and um, the fact that anything I was doing was helping her. That I think it gave me purpose. And even though I even told her like that I can't save her, I think somewhere along the lines my think my daily goal became like to try to help her save this person was again wasn't like an active thought, but based upon my actions, I think that was pretty much what I was doing. But it gave my life like a sense of purpose. But again, at the same time, I did like this person, or at least I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I just like as I slowly am doing work on myself now. So I think maybe I just like the idea of this person and maybe what she represented in my head and some other shit I haven't dealt with in my life that I'm still working on. A lot of this communication I had with her was like text, primarily just it was just all text. It was just all text friendship. But what's funny is even though it's just all text friendship, I end up probably getting to know her better. And I ain't probably, dude. Like that's just probably absolutely true. At least for the moment. We're always evolving. But at that time, I could totally say that I knew her better than my actual, I guess, if you want to say girlfriend in March, like as a person, which is kind of insane to say. But yeah. So I get like really attached because like, and then I start to share stories too from myself, um, which I think was brand newest to me. I read this book earlier this year called Daring Greatly, and that led me to start sharing stories, personal stories in my life with close friends of mine that I've never shared with, and then eventually my sisters, and honestly, just I think 2 days ago with my brother for whatever reason. Um, Man, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's because I was raised by women. It was much easier to do that with my sisters than my brother. So he his is honestly only like just 2 days where I could tell him like, hey man, think I'd be doing like getting through depression and shit or having it. Um, but yeah, I read that book. So yeah, like as I started just trading, like our personal like our friendship became like this kind of trade of our personal stories and struggles. A lot of it relationship stuff, but honestly, like yeah, there's other stuff too. Stuff like with me and a job that I had or didn't or would leave in 3 days and all kinds of stuff. So it's just kind of like life journey stuff for both of us. But through the course of that, I start to turn into like feelings and me liking this person and whatnot. Or I don't even know. I don't even know. But I'm trying to keep it vague because I don't know how much I want to put out to. But we're supposed to hang out at some point, and I end up visiting her town that she lives because she doesn't live in Austin, and I enjoy that day thoroughly. Uh, but sometimes as I look back on it now I'm like, I don't know, did I or am I just like blinded to like would I've just accepted anything because I was just so I don't know what the right word is in love with the idea of her that it just didn't matter, I don't know. I don't know. But that would be like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not even explaining shit. I'm just rambling shit. Because this is the current depression that I'm in. Um, I spent like the whole day with her, and overall it was good. But I think on that day I kind of noticed that like, uh, I don't, whatever little thoughts I had in my head, which should have been in the back of my head, but I was making her aware that I like her and would one day want to date her or some shit. Um, I think I was starting to realize like, man, this shit probably ain't gonna happen. And I was ready to leave that town, but I ended up staying and stuff. This person was going through a lot of shit in life, and maybe still is. I don't. Unfortunately, we don't talk too more, no more. So I don't know right now, but I would only imagine there's still stuff going on. But yeah, more stuff was happening, and I would end up staying in her town for like a week, and I think it was just not a good time to be around. Combined with starting to learn of the ideas of like love and fear, and I think I started instead of before maybe where I was acting from a place of love, uh, where I'm helping her. I think I started to act from a place of fear. Uh, yeah, this video is totally transitioning. I will get back to to depression. But I think I was acting from a place of fear. And so I end up in my desperation, I guess, still be around her or want to be around her or spend time with her or whatever. Man, I end up saying like a lot of crazy shit. And it's not like, on the one hand, like I'm deeply ashamed of this shit, like I said to her. On the other hand, I'm not like saying like horrible things, but it's more desperation, just desperation of like, it just wanting to see her. It wasn't till like later on, man, when and I'm blind to this. I'm blind to these things, man. I can be blind to like, I guess, whatever you want to call them, the signals, the messages, whatever from women or whatever. But it wasn't until like after a while where she just, she establishes this boundary that I just never noticed, where we're not gonna talk anymore every day, and we don't, and that made me react in even more desperation. And again, I just send messages like, hey, what's going on, and again, probably other desperate, I want to see you, I want to talk to you stuff, to the point where I start to try to force a phone call, and that was really like the last straw where I totally push her away, and now things probably will never be the same. But let's not continue on that. But and that broke my mind, and that's where I'm at in depression three right now. Um, and I'm slowly climbing out, so I'm not as bad. Otherwise, man, I made this video when this shit was fresh. Oof. But there's a lot. I mean, because man, when this shit was fresh, like let's say August 15th, right? Um, Depression 3. Initially, it starts because obviously I want the girl, right? And you're not getting the girl. Now you're really not getting the girl because now you don't know her. Now you're not friends. You were really close friends with her, and now you're none. You're probably even less than before. Because before you could have normal acquaintance talk about whatever, music or something. And now you can have nothing. You can hold that. You can hold that for being whatever you became. Um, Talking hold that. That's funny. Um, so definitely I was sad about that. But man, as it kept going and I kept not getting over it, and like she's not talking to me anymore. I still kept sending a message here and there. Again, more ridiculous shit. But sooner or later, I finally realized, or maybe not finally realized, maybe just slowly becoming more aware. And it was like, yo, what the hell am I becoming like right now? Like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing to her? What am I doing to me? And it's kind of crazy that I was that same person. Like, I was just so desperate to want to know her or want to be around her or whatever. Um, and it's like, man, like what the fuck is wrong with me? That I have this idea that she could patch it up, like or she could heal me or whatever, even though she can't. And like and it was just like the fact that I could even like become that obsessed with a person, like and I was just stunned. That kind of so the depression started and like, oh, I want the dream girl, not gonna get her. But then later it becomes like, yo, like, what have I become? Like, so now I'm like disgusted and ashamed with myself. Like, what is this? It's almost right back to depression one, which depression one was like, I don't like my life. And I came full circle. And it leads me to believe that maybe like I never stopped being depressed this year. And I just created such lofty goals that they were big enough to distract me. They were big enough to distract me that I couldn't even feel sad anymore. To the point that I was starting to come up with some right now. I was starting to think of all kinds of crazy shit. Some of these thoughts are still on the table. Some that are not on the table, but you never know, are the ones I'll talk about right now. Um, the Air Force. I was thinking of joining the Air Force. And it ain't because, again, it's not just her at this point. It's like, like I don't know what to do here anymore. I didn't know what to do with my life anymore. I'm still not necessarily enjoying my Austin life. I do live in a better place with better. Again, when I mean better people, again, not bad people, just better people to live with. There again, because those first people in that first house, I still know, and they're very good people. They just maybe not people I want to live with. Maybe not just roommates. But yeah, still wasn't. And I was like, man, the Air Force is just, I don't even got like a real job, like I'm out here freelance gigging, not even trying to get real gigs, but eventually, I get gigs here and there, and just Ubering. It's like, man, that's what I moved to Austin for. Like, so I have that in my head too, and the girl still lingers, but it's no longer the only thought the way it was in the initial depression. And I've been doing some worksheets, which I don't think I'm gonna talk about as deep right now, but if I do another one of these, maybe I will talk about it more. But man, that shit was fucked up, man, because you end up writing what you go through, and you write what you go through, and you're writing what you want and all that stuff. So you writing like, I want to know her or whatever. And honestly, it just ends up once you end up you just changing words and switching it around and seeing stuff from other perspectives. And it's just like, man, all this shit was about me and just me not loving myself, taking care of myself, and still not figuring everything out. And it was just crazy because it's like, man, shit had nothing to do with her. Um, like as much as I know her as much as I don't know her. It's like it's kind of crazy. But that being said, we're here and I'm making this video. I don't even know what the point of this video is anymore. I just been talking. It might have just been to talk to myself, just to have this here. Because honestly, saying this shit to nobody, it's harder than I thought. I just started journaling this year, May 17th. And that shit was hard. That shit was hard, just writing down thoughts. And it's crazy because I'll think of whatever sad or whatever hardship I might have, but writing that shit down and then reading it, like or as I write it and facing that, like it's almost like, man, like it's a thing. And I guess maybe saying this shit aloud too. Uh Even though I've been thinking it every day since like around August 15th ish. Just saying that shit aloud is like, oh man, dude, it's still hard. It's crazy. Sure, like every one of my friends is like, God damn, shut up. Like, get over it, man. You're not, yeah, you don't get to know her, um and yeah, but it ain't just that. Like she's part of it, but at the same time, there's still something in me too that I don't know. But yeah, I'm going on for a couple of circles now, so I'll probably end this video soon. But Depression 3, definitely like still kind of missing this girl, but at the same time, it took me right back to Depression 1, where it's like, man, I don't like my life. I still don't like what I've ended up becoming, even though I'm probably so much of a better person than I was before. If I was so much more capable of so many more things. And yet, like, in some ways, nothing has changed. It's crazy. It's like, um, damn, yo. It sucks saying that. I turned down a documentary job, I think a week or two ago. And they really wanted me on. And they even was gonna pay. Not a lot, but they even was gonna pay. And I told them no, because I didn't want to ruin the project. And they were like, I believe in you. And I told them because all I could think about was like me being depressed. Honestly, all I could think about at that time too was that girl, unfortunately. And so my mind would wander, you know? And I told her once when she told me, I believe in you, you could work on this project, I told her immediately, but I don't believe in myself, and that's the problem. And man, it wasn't till like maybe an hour or two later that I heard those words come out of my mouth, but I was like, yo, what is happening to me right now? Like that is not me. Like what is happening? So this one, while this girl might have opened that depression, like I feel like maybe it just pulled tape on a wound that I just never really dealt with. And I still don't fully understand. And I feel like it's not going away. And if by some magic thing, uh, you know, I was to just go right back to that same friendship I had with this girl, I don't even know if that would even make it go away anymore. I feel like this shit is just like it's on some other shit now, and it's something that I need to understand within myself and face. Um, None of my vices work anymore. Like that whole junk food thing I mentioned in February, man, just yesterday in this room. Drove to San Antonio, saw my mom, but then after that I went to HEB and bought a bunch of sugar cane soda and chips and yeah, a lot of chips, a lot of kettle chips and Doritos and shit. And just didn't work. Like I had it, but man, like it doesn't feel good no more. Like I remember years ago I would have that stuff. And those couple of hours were joy. But I'll have it now and I guess it tastes good or whatever, but I don't escape. I don't disappear or whatever it is, you know? I just you're still there. And you're still there. Here's a fun thing to talk about jerking off. Um, Same thing when I was younger, man. Like remember jerking off and it would bring you a joy, the pleasure of jerking off. Like but man, now nothing. Nothing. If I do that, which I didn't do yesterday, I guess hooray, right? But man, I've tried that over that's been something I don't even want to do. That's a whole nother addiction story. But yeah, because that dominated a lot of my life. But that's a whole nother video. But during some of these depressed times I would try that and that shit don't work either. That shit don't feel good. It's just something I did because I guess it was a habit. Because I was addicted one time. So a lot of that wiring is there, but I'll do it and nothing. That shit don't feel good either. None of the vices work no more. This is amazing. There's like no escape. It's like I have to face myself now. Um, to the point that it got me thinking about all these other girls I've known, and I'm like, shit, yo, like it was always me. Like it was always me. Um, and I'm only now becoming aware of that, and I guess, um, fucking man, I can't even want to say this shit. Like even though I probably won't know this person anymore, uh, I guess I have that to thank for her because I guess this was like the final like shit. Like I really probably do need to like fix or face whatever it is in me that's making me sad or depressed because right now I couldn't even see me like uh chasing another girl or doing anything. I know chasing is the bad word, but like even want because I just feel like I wouldn't trust myself to not be like I don't know the real me or like it couldn't work because I'm still broken. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what like it couldn't work because I'm not like now are we ever fully fixed? Who knows, right? But definitely right now, not the best. like for any of that. Like so yeah. Damn. I don't even know if there's anything else to say. But that's like a shitty way to end it. It's like, yeah, all right, I'm fucked. That's what but no, I'm working on it. I have this morning routine that I'm trying to get back to and I feel like I've done it once or twice and then I fall off again and I've done it. And it was, the most interesting thing. Depression 3 is one of the hardest shits I've ever been through in my life. At the same time, I would say for like the first 3 or 4 weeks, man, I still was adamant in my routine. Maybe I had hope. That's why. But somewhere along the lines, I lost it and I just said, fuck it. And I just would work out less and less and eat more shit. And none of it's helped. And I would just stay in my room. None of it's helped. But I think recently I've learned, because I'm a creative, as well as a lot of my friends are. But I think idle hands and just being stagnant for the creative in general, even if I wasn't as depressed, could be not the best thing for us. Uh, I guess it's one of the good things that came from. I started like sort of making music again. I say sort of because I don't know. I guess I do, but I just don't know how serious I am because that was a serious thing in my life at one point. But I was so sad. I started making stuff again. So we'll see how long that goes. But I almost feel like I need to mandate the routine in my life again, and I need to probably work again, even if it's still freelance. I need to like force freelance. I need to create, even if it ain't music, even if it's shit like this, where I'm just rambling about my life. But I think I need to make stuff, and yeah, I still don't know where to aim for in the future. There's a triangle in the future for maybe I'll do a disappearing act, but we'll see. That's another video too. Um, but yeah, damn, I wanted to end this on some hopeful shit. This don't sound hopeful at all. Uh, I don't know. I'm doing the work on myself. I'm trying. Let's see. Will I even post this? I don't even know if I should post this right now. I feel like there's a lot of shit. I might have to hear this first or something. Um, but yeah, I guess this is where I'm at right now. Like bacon.